Since humanity first set sail onto the open waters of our world, many an unbelievable tall tale has found its way back to land, only some of which contain a grain of truth. But not all crazy encounters from upon the waves are the result of false-hearted fishermen feeding us a line. And thanks to the invention of modern camera equipment and smartphones, we can prove it. From alien sharks to unexpected reveals and unbelievable hauls, grab your rods and your life jackets as we peek overboard at some of the most surprising and craziest fishing moments in the world. Let's kick things off sharkish. While fishing off the coast of Massachusetts in September 2018, this fishing vessel's crewman got a reminder of who's at the top of the pile when it comes to fishing skills.
Little bait fish.
Oh!
Oh!
Holy! Did you get that on film?
Yeah.
Holy!
Oh my
he's
God!
back there,
Look
he's
at
back
it.
there. Oh! Whoa!
Holy!
Not many can say they've had a brush with one of the ocean's top predators, but this fishing crew were just 10 feet away from it. Talk about grab and go. This great white made that striped bass disappear out of thin air. While those fishermen had a whole fishing boat between them and Jaws, our next fisherman got a bit too close for comfort thanks to his choice of fishing vessel.
I'm going to the box.
While out fishing on his kayak around Port Augusta in South Australia in November 2022, fisherman Matthew Gorn came face to face with none other than the ocean's own Hollywood horror star, the great white shark. Great white sharks are the most common culprits in shark attacks and close encounters because they typically hunt from below, where things like kayaks can easily be mistaken for seals or sea lions. While the risk of an attack is low and kayakers make up just 0.35% of recorded fatalities attributable to sharks, some kayaking fishermen like Matthew do experience some pretty close encounters. And some even lose their catches to the sharp-toothed oceanic hunters. Take a look at this.
I haven't got him. Gee, that water's clean. That's a big shark. Oh, he's got it. He's got it. Oh, has he? Jeez, that's a big shark. Far out. Get out of it. That's big. Holy, that's a big shark.
This is Chris Carney, a Gold Coast kayaking fisherman who found himself with a shark paddling alongside in hot pursuit of the monstrous mackerel Chris was trying to hook. Estimating the beast to have been almost 10 feet long, Chris shared this video on Instagram where he theorized that his experience had been with a copper shark. Though large and powerful, unlike the great white, copper sharks are not usually aggressive towards humans unless in the presence of food, i.e. if you're a fisherman trying to hook away its lunch. Luckily, this copper shark was in a generous mood and only bit the tail off the mackerel before giving it up. What a sweetheart. From encounters with one of the water world's top predators to one of water and land. When Dak Craig and his buddy Daniel went out for a spot of fishing in Australia's Northern Territory, they were set for a day of friendly bonding. Little did they realize things were about to snap.
Run, bro. Run back, bro. Run back, bro. Run back, bro. Run back. Oh, run, bro. Run. Run, Daniel. Run. Run, Daniel. Run. Run, bro. Oh, no, he's got it. Pressure on. Keep the pressure. No. No, it's so big. It's so big, he's swallowing it.
Oh, the whole thing?
Oh, the whole thing's gone down his gob.
Looks like these Billabong buddies weren't the only ones in the race to catch this behemoth barramundi and were forced to retreat when a 13-foot-long saltwater crocodile joined in. While fishing is usually a waiting game, Slow and Steady certainly didn't win the race on this occasion. The reptilian king of water and land did. While that last croc stole a pretty prized catch from Dak and Daniel, another fisherman was surprised to have a snappy encounter on his very first catch ever. Check this out.
Let it pull you in. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Keep doing.
Oh!
Fishing from the rocks at Queensland's Herbert River Gorge, this footage was captured by Angus Gibson while filming his pal Rod's first ever catch in September 2022. But looks like this diddle from down under wanted to show our first-time fishermen just who's boss when it comes to snapping up catches in the land of Oz. While it may not be surprising that an ambitious angler might want their first catch on camera, it's fair to say that this first-time fisherman had quite the unexpected introduction to the sport. Many of the most seasoned fishermen out there would agree that the best fishing spot of all is out in the deep blue sea. But when Lars Johan Larsen headed out off the coast of Portland, Maine in July 2022, little did he know just how blue his fishing trip was yet to become. No Photoshop trickery here, folks. What you're looking at is an all-natural blue lobster, caught on the very fishing trip I just mentioned. In some lobsters, a rare genetic mutation causes the production of excessive amounts of a pigment called crustacyanin, resulting in a bright blue color. You might be thinking that this bluesy boy must be 1 in a million, but the chances of catching one is actually 1 in 2 million, with very few reported catches. Thankfully, this unique little guy was returned to the ocean after being caught, most likely back to his underwater blue house with an underwater blue window. Da-ba-dee-ba-da-da, da-ba-dee-da-da. Some say you should never work with children or animals, but this next mother of all surprises proves that idea wrong while working with both at the same time. Check this out.
Fishing lures that actually won't catch fish because they don't sink far down enough. So he's just gonna... Oh. Maybe he did catch something. Holy crap, he just caught a fish. Okay, be right back. Okay, so I had no faith in my kid catching a fish, and he caught like a 16-inch catfish. So
No.
there's your lesson for the day. Happy weekend.
While Mom Rebecca didn't have much faith in her 10-year-old son Liam's fishing abilities, he sure showed her with an impressive catch of a 16-inch catfish. While Rebecca was pleasantly proven wrong, Liam's catfish caper made the art of fishing look like, well, child's play. From marina mothers and sons to fishing fathers and daughters now. When Lance Burgos took his daughter Evan on their annual father-daughter kayaking trip in Lake Fossey Point State Park, Louisiana, in April 2016, I'm sure he imagined it would be a good chance to bond. Little did he realize that they were set to bond over a truly terrifying experience. Check this out.
Oh, there's something on it. I think we got a garfish, dude. Be careful, Evan. Oh my God! A big gator, buddy.
Did you see the size of that mouth? Holy catfish, Batman. While the Atchafalaya Swamp in Louisiana is known for its large alligator population, I don't think Lance quite expected what he got when fishing this noodle out of its murky waters. Although you could argue that Lance probably won't be winning any Father of the Year awards for bringing his precious daughter face to face with one of the most dangerous creatures on Earth. The day was certainly less boring than some fishing trips can be. More familial fishy finds now. When Scott McLaughlin and his dad Russell were fishing in the Sea of Cortez off Cabo San Lucas, Mexico in March 2016, they reeled in a truly bizarre and oddly terrifying creature from the deep blue. Looking like a tiny shark with the belly of a chubby human, the creature was like nothing they'd ever seen before. The alien catch turned out to be an albino swell shark. According to marine biologists, the shark's unique ability to swell its body by taking in water is a threat response, making it more difficult for predators to bite or remove them from rocky crevices. While swell sharks like this are quite commonly seen around the seas of Mexico, the one caught by Scott Russell became the first record of albinism, or heavily reduced skin pigmentation, in the species. While fishermen's tales are not always to be believed, luckily for this father-son duo, their tale comes with pictures hooked onto it. It's an age-old proverb. The little fish gets eaten by the big fish, Then the big fish gets eaten by an even bigger fish. But how often is it that you see it happening in real time? This unbelievable image was captured by a group of student marine researchers from the University of Delaware in July 2013. But how did it happen? The student researchers' goal had been to tag a sand tiger shark and had managed to bait one with a menhaden. But it wasn't a sand tiger shark that came biting. Well, not at first. To the researchers' dismay, the first to take the bait was a 3-foot smooth dogfish shark, but as they began reeling it in for release, they realized that the little fish had, in the process, fallen prey to one of the top predators in the Delaware Bay. The sand tiger shark, midway through swallowing the prey that had swallowed the team's bait, was subsequently tagged and released. Which is more than can be said for the dogfish, who ultimately ended up between a rod and a shark blaze. Let's stay on the topic of strange bait. If the arachnophobe inside you is screaming right now, fear not. This 8-legged creep emerging from the throat of a bass is not what it seems. This is in fact a fishing lure designed to look just like a realistic, although very colorful, spider. It's even got super wiggly legs to disturb the water, making things even more realistic and enticing for fish that encounter it. All in all, it makes for a great bait, not just for bass, but for compliments from your fellow fishermen. And speaking of fishing for compliments, I'm really enjoying this video. Aren't you? Why not drop me a line and cast your fingers on those like and subscribe buttons? While some may say that fishing is boring, that definitely wasn't the case for this next fishing vessel crew, who found themselves having quite the whale of a time when reeling in their latest catch off the coast of New Jersey in October 2022.
I got that on video! Holy what the You got your fish on? Still got him. What the
Looks like this whale wasn't too happy about being upstaged at sea when fishing fanatic Zach Pillar whipped out the camera to snap his dad Doug's catch as he reeled in. In spite of the shocking interruption, Doug still managed to hold on to his fish, so I'm sorry, Mr. Blubber, but it looks like you're not the only one who needs to take a bow. Moving on from whale outs to quick bailouts now. While the aim of every fisherman is to, well, catch fish, looks like some members of the animal kingdom have other ideas when it comes to who should be on the hook. Take a look.
Oh, brother. Be careful, I'll get him to jump.
This unnerving footage was shot by a couple just outside of Darwin, Australia, whose date was crashed by a curious croc. While 3 is certainly a crowd, looks like this croc down under considered joining the party, but soon got a little tired of having a camera shoved in its face.
I'll get him to jump.
And by the sounds of that shriek, seems like the camera woman got the message. From a croc that doesn't want to be on camera to one that can't seem to get enough time in front of the lens. When 22-year-old Tommy Lee set up for a round of sunrise tarpon fishing in the Florida Everglades in May 2021, he thought he'd found the perfect solitary setting. Unfortunately for him, things were about to become a lot less solitary and a lot more snappy. Watch this.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Gotta be careful here.
While he'd had his hopes set on tarpons, witnessing an 11-foot alligator emerging from the swampy depths had Tommy only hoping to keep all of his limbs intact.
And into my tarpon fishing. Wow. Get back. Oh my God. Hey, buddy,
Thankfully, the gator decided it wasn't up for a game of hide and seek through the Everglades on this occasion and eventually retreated. Like many Florida men before him, Tommy got himself into quite the unexpected and bizarre situation. And luckily for him, he's got the snaps to prove it. Keeping with the theme of toothy surprises while fishing off Jeanette's Pier in Nags Head, North Carolina, Nathan Martin got quite the smiley surprise when pulling out one particular catch in September 2021. While it might look like this flounder has taken some unsuspecting beachgoers' lost dentures hostage, these gnashers are all natural. This is a sheep's head fish, a fish named for its uncanny, toothy resemblance to the muzzle of a sheep. Despite its outlandish appearance, this fish can be found pretty commonly on the Atlantic and Gulf coasts of the United States, all the way down to Brazil. They use those mighty molars to crush the shells of the mollusks and crustaceans they feed upon. While these toothy jaws might look a little spooky to us, sheep's head fish pose no threat to humans. Although I'd recommend saying a small prayer for your digits if you're thinking of handling one like Nathan here. One of the oldest kinds of employment in human history, fishing has existed since prehistoric times, and as of 2022, it's estimated that around 60 million people are employed worldwide in the fishing industry. One of the most popular fishing methods employed by commercial fisheries is seine fishing, in which a large purse-like net is used to collect unbelievably large schools of fish like mackerel and tuna. Although effective in catching hundreds of thousands of fish, methods using large nets like the purse seine aren't very sustainable long-term, as they often result in overfishing and the capture of unwanted sea life while fishing for different species. While unintended catches happen pretty often, one commercial fishing crew off Rhode Island landed a very surprising one off the coast of Misquamicut Beach in 2018. Take a look.
Great white shark. Caught right open. Plenty of life in them. And it's Shark Week.
Captured just 3/4 of a mile offshore, this 6-foot-long great white was not what these fishermen were expecting. Thankfully, in this instance, the crew were able to work quickly to release it back into its oceanic home. While accidental catches like that are still a big issue in commercial fishing, many of those who make a living catching fish are working to improve methods and make fishing more sustainable. In the Maldives, most fishermen fish with only a pole and line, a technique as old as fishing itself. Pole and line fishing is more selective and therefore makes for a more sustainable way to fish, albeit with much smaller catch numbers. Only catches of a certain size are kept, while the smaller juveniles are set free to grow to maturity to be caught later. Instead of a large net that could catch all sorts of unwanted sea life, the fishermen use smaller bait fish which are thrown overboard to lure larger fish like tuna to the surface. The result is a super impressive display of speed and skill, as the fishermen are able to catch the fish at high quantities by catching the fish with a hook and flinging them back onto the boat's deck. Fewer unintended catches means more sustainable fishing, and it just goes to show that, surprisingly, the ancient techniques of our fishing past can really help to save our ocean's future. As we've already seen, shark encounters while fishing can be pretty scary, but there are some out there that just seem to want to hitch a ride.
Here, boys.
Keep going, mate.
What happened?
Holy! Seriously, man.
This crazy footage was captured by a fishing crew in Coral Bay, Western Australia in May 2022. After being attracted by the crew's fishing line and subsequently ditching it, the shark proceeded to give the boat's motor and propeller a rather toothy kiss that went on just a little too long. While it looked as though this fin fellow would never let go, it did eventually relinquish its grip on the motor and swam away unharmed. Let's just hope he hadn't developed a taste for metal. When Natalia Vorbach and her boyfriend set out for a spot of pier fishing in Coney Island, New York, they were hoping for a few catches from the deep blue. What they ended up with looked more like something from deep space. Check this out. While you might think that this bizarrely shaped creature caught in April 2018 looks more like a tiny demogorgon than anything of this world, this tentacled critter actually turned out to be a little skate. Skates are a type of ray, and while Natalia's Coney Island catch shared similar markings, conical nose, and hind tentacles of the adorably named little skate subspecies, you've probably noticed that it doesn't seem to share its wide fins. But before you start crying cryptid, it's important to note that many fish look a lot different out of water. And in this case, it's likely the skate's fins have drooped and wrapped themselves around the catch's body in the absence of its buoyant habitat. Either that or this little guy's been swimming around in the radiation near nuclear bomb test sites. While you might think that fishing is all about catching fish, think again. Magnet fishing is exactly what it sounds like. Fishing with a magnet. But fish are most certainly not the target in this attractive hobby. These guys hunt for treasures of the metallic kind. In March 2017, the creators of a magnet fishing YouTube channel called World War II Wendell were testing out a new magnetic device on the River Soar in Leicester, England, where they ended up with quite the unexpected catch. The group ended up pulling out not one, but two large safes from the riverbed. While the first was empty, its missing door having been broken off, the second was a little more mysterious. The box had a great big hole in its side, and inside was a set of keys along with a batch of scratch-off cards that had come from a local charity shop that had recently been broken into. It seemed both safes had been stolen, broken into, and dumped. The group reported their find to the cops, and while unfortunately the World War II Wendells never provided an update on the case, we can only hope they were able to become human magnets to some good karma for their good deed. While that magnetic find left the Wendell boys shook, our next magnetic fishing moment is truly explosive. While using a magnet to retrieve a lost fishing lure, Che Williams of Birmingham, England pulled out something that had him utterly blown out of the water. A grenade. And it wasn't just the one. Che pulled out 19 hand grenades in total. And after he alerted the police about his finds, he was shocked to find himself playing host to a bomb squad deployed to X-ray scan the grenades. Thankfully, all the grenades, including the few with pins still attached, were found to contain no explosives or detonator and were completely safe. They were confirmed to be World War II relics, and while Che was disappointed that they were subsequently confiscated by the police, I'm sure he was glad the situation didn't end with a bang. Or 19. Ice fishing can be a slow, patient game, but one ice fisherman was able to strike gold not once, but twice in rapid succession when he caught a little fish that had a much larger one hot on its tail. Check it out.
Oh my goodness! Are you kidding me? Holy! I gotta get this fish. I gotta get this fish. Did everybody? Holy cow! I think my heart is in my stomach.
While pulling out a small fry bluegill, the fisherman was shocked to see a giant northern pike pop out of the hole in hot pursuit of its next meal. Holding the two side by side, it's pretty clear that, if this prize pair were put back in the water after the camera stopped rolling, the littlest fish's day was probably about to get a lot worse. Let's take our fishing trip somewhere warmer now, the Amazon. While angling in the Amazon, this fisherman caught this mammoth alien catch. While it might look like an overgrown water wasp or some fragment of the prehistoric past, this is actually a Megalodorus uranoscopus, aka the giant talking catfish. While it can't actually talk, it can generate noises by moving its pectoral fins, as you can hear in this small specimen here. In the wild, this catfish's size speaks for itself, and while it's not quite a sea monster, it can grow to more than a whopping 28 inches in length. While cats of the land may have 9 lives, the memory of this strange legendary catch is sure to live on in this fisherman's memory for the rest of his days. Now, so far we've seen plenty of great impressive fishing moments, and they're all well and good, but if there's one thing fishermen know, it's that things can and will go wrong when fishing, often in hilarious ways. So let's move from a legendary catch you'd want to frame and put over the mantelpiece to an embarrassing slip-up that I'll bet the fellow involved wished would never see the light of day. Of course, it did see the light of day, and I'd be remiss not to show it to you now. Enjoy! Pretty explosive blunder, right? Now, while it might look like these guys just lost the entirety of a day's hard-earned catch, that's not quite what happened there. In actuality, these fellas just received a batch of fish with which to fill up their favorite fishing pond. But I can assure you the slip and tumble of the guy responsible for opening the little door to lead the fishies to freedom, yep, that was absolutely not part of the plan. Still, it sure provided the guy with a unique experience. With a torrent of water and fish to the face, he got to experience firsthand what goldfish feel like when they get flushed down the toilet. Now think about this. What do you do when you're on public transport, cleaning your house, or you generally just can't stare at a screen? Do you still want to learn amazing facts and have your mind blown? Well, I've got the solution. Be Amazed is now available in podcast form. Look up Be Amazed on all major podcast platforms. Follow us now on the podcast platform of your choice, and you'll have the chance to win $500 of Amazon vouchers. We're giving $100 vouchers away to 5 lucky winners. All you need to do is slide into my DMs on Facebook or Instagram with a screenshot showing that you follow the Be Amazed podcast and left a top rating. Hurry, the competition ends on the 30th of September. Winners will be chosen at random and announced via our Facebook page. Which of these surprising fishing moments had you jumping overboard in disbelief? Do you have any true fisherman's tales of your own? Share them with me in the comments down below, and I'll catch you in the next one.